thunderstorms. A lot of those could pack a punch, as we just saw. But the good news, not expecting any of that today. Taking a look at the next 5 hours in Pensacola, and those temperatures quickly warming up to the lower 90s by lunchtime. Mostly sunny skies later on today, but also drier air pushing in. I'm going to talk more about those details coming up when we come back. And taking another look at your forecast and the feels like temperatures out there right now. It's hot all across the coastal areas of our viewing area, but slowly starting to see improvements. Gulf Shores went from 112, the feels like temperatures closer towards 4 a.m. to 94 now, and 93 in Navarre. We're slowly getting there, but I'll be talking more about your forecast coming up when we come back.
We have some interesting weather changes happening that is going to make us all feel a little bit better when we step outside. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this Monday morning. It is August the 19th. I'm Sarah Wall. Eric Reynolds has the morning off. Meteorologist Jennifer Lambers has the reasoning behind why it's going to be feeling better outside.
That's exactly right, Sarah. The good news is that we had a cold front push through. It's still slowly making its way across the Gulf Coast, but that's going to be bringing in some of that drier, much needed air.
Yeah, so earlier I kind of think I misspoke. I said it's going to be cooler. It's not,
right,
but it's going to feel cooler.
Exactly. Yeah, it's
right?
It's going to be feeling less hot. I know. Yeah, it's hard to really just put that into words. You'll notice the difference. That's
I'm looking forward to it.
Exactly. Yeah, you will notice that difference heading later on into today. But here's a live view outside right now down in Orange Beach. What we're starting to see is some calm, quiet conditions. The waves along the shoreline still just breaking out there, but a nice calm look down in Perdido Pass and Robinson Island. But the temperatures out there, they're resting in the lower 80s. The dew points also in the lower 80s, and so feeling more like 94. It's feeling a bit more hot and muggy out there to begin so far for today, but the dew points all across the Gulf Coast, slowly starting to see some of those upper 60s. I even just saw that Leakesville sensor dipping down 1 degree. Slow improvements, but our coastal areas still just falling behind a little bit with noticing some of that dry air beginning to push in, but we still have abundance of Gulf moisture out there. But here's a look at the futurecast for the dew points. Mobile, Pensacola seeing those lower 70s as we make our way later on into this afternoon. There's those 60s making an appearance. We're slowly getting there by late morning, and the Florida Panhandle seeing some of that closer towards early hours of lunchtime. And then we can slowly start to see even more of that continuing just towards the rest of the Florida Panhandle and the Big Bend area. Really drastic changes to the forecast if you feel it heading into today. Now those temperatures, they're still going to be warming up. Temperatures are going to be maxing out in the mid 90s, slightly above average for this time of year. But if you notice that pink gap, it starts to get smaller and smaller once more of that less humid air begins to make an appearance. But here's a look at our boating forecast brought to you by Scout and Legendary Marine. What we're starting to see for today, those partly cloudy skies, the wind northwest around 5 to 10 knots. The sea is right around 1 foot and seeing some of that light chop. Now we are tracking the tropics at this time. We do have Hurricane Ernesto, and we did not get an advisory update from the National Hurricane Center, but we do have that 4 a.m. advisory update. 85 mile per hour sustained winds tracking north-northeast at 21 miles per hour. The system is still expected to continue to track towards the northeast, becoming that remnant low heading into tomorrow. Now coming up in just a little bit, I'm going to be talking more about your forecast and what you can expect for the full week ahead of us. All of that is coming up soon. Sarah.
We're checking in with Jen.
And taking another look at your forecast over the next few hours in Gulf Shores. Those temperatures only going to continue to tick up, noticing those lower 90s by 11 a.m. But the good news is that humidity is continuing to go down. I'm going to be talking more about that coming up when we come back.
Looking precious.
They are. I mean, she had her snack in hand, but there to support her sister.
Love it. And her sister did a fantastic job. If you would like to see your child leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, you can submit your video through our website at fox10tv.com.
We try to air a new one every weekday, so we want to see your kiddos.
Absolutely. Please send them in. We love them. It is now 7:45, y'all. A giant panda in Hong Kong gave birth to twins last week after years of trying to get pregnant.
Adorable. So Ying Ying, known as the city's beloved giant panda, gave birth to a boy and a girl. These sweet cubs weigh about 1/4 of a pound each.
They are precious. Look at this baby eating. They were born just one day before mom turned 19. Ying Ying is the oldest panda on record to successfully give birth for the first time, according to Ocean Park, Hong Kong.
Now, the theme park says that a 19-year-old giant panda is roughly equal to a 57-year-old human.
Park officials say the cubs are currently very fragile and under 24-hour intensive care, so visitors will have to wait a few months for their official debut, but we get to see a little sneak peek video of that baby. Look how sweet.
It's adorable. And you were talking earlier is that we normally don't get to see them this small. Normally mom typically has them, so to get a different view like this, a lot smaller than what I would have thought.
Yes, and so sweet. A popular dessert chain and a childhood favorite candy join forces to create a unique sweet and sour treat.
I don't know how I feel about this one. So for a limited time only, customers can try the Cinnabon Warheads topped bonds and the Warheads Blue Raspberry Chelada drink.
The cinnamon buns topped with Warheads come in 3 different flavors: blue raspberry, green apple, and watermelon.
No. I think that's going to be a pass from me. The Cinnabon looks good. I don't know about the Warheads on top. So the sweet and sour collaboration will be available in select bakeries for a short period of time starting today.
I'm going to get my son. My son loves both of those, so I'm going to see if he likes them together.
I am curious to see how they would be together, especially the little flakes of the Warhead. It might be a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of a punch you get from the Warheads when they're broken up like that. We'll get Jake to test it and we'll see what he thinks.
I would say if anyone's out there and they see any locally, let us know. I'd love to try that on air.
Good stuff right there, potentially. Breakfast food. And, you know, it's been a nice morning. A warm morning, though.
That's exactly right, especially down in Orange Beach. We were tracking those temperatures earlier and still starting to notice some of those heat indices even higher once you take those temperatures and that humidity into account. So ranging, really seeing that 20-degree difference. Look at Evergreen and Bruton and compared to Gulf Shores, and that's where we're going to start to notice the 20-degree drop as you approach further inland, feeling a lot better due to more of that dry air currently in place. So ranging quite a bit just based on your location. But the good news is that humidity, it's only going to continue to drop later on today. So we had that cold front that was approaching closer last night. Some areas saw some of those thunderstorms overnight. Now what we're starting to notice is more of that sunshine and slowly some of that dry air beginning to push south. And so dew points gradually falling throughout the afternoon, really starting to notice some of those mid to upper 60s later on today. And so just a reminder with our dew point comfort scale, we were in the extreme category, many spots starting to notice the miserable, and then we're going to be making it into the uncomfortable, even in the noticeable category later on. And see this comfortable category, it's been a while since we've been there, but some spots could possibly see it as we get closer towards Wednesday. Now the heat indices later on, it's still going to be feeling a little bit on the warm side out there, especially as you approach closer towards the coast. We still have some of that Gulf moisture out there and daytime highs maxing out in the mid-90s. Our inland county is going to be feeling right on the dot with that air temperature, a little bit warmer further down south, and also tracking the mosquitoes out there. A look at your skeeter meter from Mosquito Joe, and unfortunately it is just continuing to stay high out there. Keep that bug spray handy. Even with some of that dropping humidity, still going to be noticing those mosquitoes sticking around for the next few months. Here's a look at your futurecast, and what we're starting to notice is that cloud cover pushing out of here, leading to more sunshine by late morning, early afternoon, things looking a lot better, and that'll only continue heading into today. The other trade-off with that dry air pushing in is not only that change in humidity, but no rain chances for today. So in case you do have any of those evening plans, they're looking nice. Again, still hot out there, so do be cautious of that heat. We're not noticing a major drop in temperatures, just in that humidity. The rip current risk is low today. Tomorrow, Wednesday, that surf height right around 1 foot, water temperature in the upper 80s. But a full look at your 7-day forecast, those temperatures continuing in the lower to mid 90s for the next few days ahead of us. Dry air in place, so no rain chances. However, it is short-lived. That humidity does make a comeback by Thursday into the weekend, and that's reflective with those rain chances coming back into the forecast. I'll have another look coming up on Fox 10 News at 8 a.m. Sarah.